My earliest memory is riding in my grandfather's boat, arm over the side, hand in the spray. I've spent much of the rest of my life chasing this feeling. All of that has led to this. The wooden boat experience. It's not easy letting go of summer, but I'm trying. Hey guys! Welcome to the wooden boat experience. I was just listening to a podcast on my phone while I was cleaning out what used to be our gallery and is now going to be the Skiff House. And the podcast was about Gimlet Media, which if anybody listens to podcasts, you may have heard of Gimlet Media before. And it's called Startup, and it talks about, and it goes through the steps that the guy that created Gimlet, what he went through to do that. And it really got me thinking about what I'm doing with YouTube. And the long and short of it is, he just wanted to create good content. He wasn't so interested in being a good businessman, and neither am I, and I probably am not that good of a businessman. But it feels to me like I'm always taking 3 steps backward to get that 1 step forward. I mean, right now I'd love to be over in the boat shed, which I can see from here, and working on the Chris Craft or working on the skiff. But I've got to get this building moved, only 10 feet, but it's got to happen before the ground gets muddy, which is very close. Because if the ground gets muddy, we won't be able to push the building without spinning the tires and making a big mess. It's just like constantly one thing after another after another. And I'm sure from the outside it's like, oh, why is he doing that right now? But I do have a plan, and there is some thought that goes into it. And hopefully you guys will stick with me long enough to realize what that is. And we got some cool stuff coming out. I'm constantly going to be doing new things. And if it seems like, oh, I wish he'd just get to it, and I just want to see something done, you will see something done eventually. And little things get done. I think you've got to think of each little thing as a completion rather than looking for that whole glorious thing of driving that Chris Craft down the river or rowing the skiff down the river. And that's going to come. It's going to come, hopefully next year. But man, who knows what life is going to throw at each one of us. I mean, look what it's thrown at us the last few months. Still, man, I'm a lot better off than most people in what I get to do and the choices that I get to make. And I'm glad that you guys are along for the ride. And I'm glad that of the support that you guys offer to the wooden boat experience and to me. So thanks for that. Let's get on to some boat work. This is a new project we're going to start working on. We can't do it all at once, but we're going to get started. What does that say on it? Mercury, Australia. That's weird. So this new project that we're going to work on now is going to be for the Chris Craft. This is the dashboard that comes with the motor that we have, the 4-cylinder Chevy. This is what you get with it from Marine Power. Now, this isn't a bad looking dashboard, but it doesn't match up to what I want to have in this boat. It's a little too modern looking for me. So there's a problem. It would be very easy just to change most of the gauges except for the tachometer. This is a tachometer that's a modern one that's electronic. I have these 2 sets that I can use. This one came off of a Lyman, and of course it's a mechanical tachometer. And these sets of gauges, I've got one more. I've also got the water temperature. I don't know what these came off of, but these are old Stuart Warners. Pretty cool. Again, mechanical. But what I got to decide is which of these sets that I want to use. These or this one. I'm leaning a little bit towards this one. And what I'm going to do is take apart this electronic tachometer and put the guts of this into whichever tachometer I use and make it so that it works as a modern one but looks like an old one. Now, I've gone online. I thought I had a company, I found one that actually makes this little electronic kit, this retrofit. from England, but all their stuff is from a couple years ago, and I find nothing about them now. So I think that's kind of a dead end, and I don't want to spend a fortune sending them out. I know that's an option, but you know me, that's not the way I do things. So we're going to see. I got this stuff pretty much for free. So this came with the engine. Worst case scenario, I reuse this, maybe paint it or something, and I just have to buy a new tachometer for 30, 40 bucks. So I'm going to start taking this apart today. This isn't going to finish this week, but at least you know we're working on it, and it's something to look forward to, see what happens with it. Oh, one thing I forgot to say is obviously the swing doesn't match up on these two or these two. But what I'm thinking of doing is when I take this apart, because I do silk screening here in the studio, I may just silk screen a new face on whichever one I use to match up to the swing of this one. Well, I think that's enough for today. It's been a long day today. This has got a little damage over here where it's cracked, but I can solder that together. We're going to pull the needles off and see what's inside. Actually, you know what? We can pull this one right now. Heard that rolling around in there. Not sure what that is. A little piece of brass. It's flat. Somebody's repaired it before. You can see right here. Or either it's been repaired or it's just a really bad initial print. I don't know. It's hard to tell. When things are this old, who knows? But it would not be that hard to switch this with just a different face on it. I think we're going to have success with this whole deal. I'm leaning towards this right now just because this one looks... Well, we got the engine hours, which runs off this mechanical tach, which I don't know how I deal with that. I could fill that in. I don't know. Maybe we'll just put that one back together. I like the looks of this anyway. Maybe a little older than that boat, but who cares? We're doing a retro mod. We're not trying to make something that's exactly what it was originally. So let me put these screws in here so I don't lose them. And it's Sunday. I'm tired. I've been working on the addition all day outside. I just had to do something on the boat. So we got something done. And now I'm heading in the house. As crazy as it sounds, Sunday was the last time I worked in the boat shed. Although Monday evening I found time to row. Between the addition, which gets metal roofing on Saturday, prepping the gallery / skiff house, and replacing the muffler on the truck, I ran out a week before I was ready to. Monday and Tuesday I traveled to film 2 other boat shops, so next week will be an interesting and longer video. One last thing before I go today. I found this in the gallery. Funny what you forget about when you don't see it all the time. But this piece is a small section, a prototype of a larger piece that my friend Marty Snye and I made. And it was in the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. Marty Snye is a blacksmith, and he did the metalwork. And this would be one corner of a very large piece. The glass ended up being quite a bit different than this, thicker, and the flowers aren't the same. But if you look it up, if you just Google search my name and the Queen, you will find it, and I'll put some links down below in the description for that and for Marty Snye, the River Forge. Check out his stuff too, pretty amazing.